Welcome to the Untangled Mind podcast. I'm Piper Harris. And if you were someone who's been told just go with the flow, but you find yourself completely overwhelmed and stuck or spiraling when life takes a turn, this episode is for you. So today we're talking about pivoting, not this really trendy buzzword kind of a way, but in a very real psychological sense. How do we shift when the path we thought we were on suddenly disappears? Maybe it's a career change that you didn't choose, or a relationship had unraveled, or maybe it's a diagnosis, a moment where your plans get interrupted and you have no idea what to do and no backup plan. If you've ever felt paralyzed in those moments, good. That means you're human, but it also means that you need tools. So today we're going to talk about the Pivot Toolbox. This is a data-driven set of tools in my CBT practice that I use for counseling and coaching to help you shift emotionally, cognitively, and behaviorally when life doesn't go as planned. So number one, this is the nervous system reset. First and foremost, we got to get you back into a regulated state. This is a nervous system reset, which uses grounding as a technique. Now, listen, this is not earth-shattering new. This is not revolutionary. You've probably heard this a million times, but it's absolutely effective. And what it does is instead of your bottom brain just taking you off to the races, you can regulate your system so you can do the next tools in the Pivot Toolbox. So it's a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique. This is a base of regulation. So before you can think straight or act wisely, you have to be able to regulate. So the 5, 4, 3, 2 method is super simple. Find 5 things you can see, 4 things you can feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This is not fluff. It actually is neuroscience. You're activating the parasympathetic nervous system, your calming system, and giving your body the signal that things are safe. Yes, it's hectic. Yes, you have to learn to pivot, but you're not in danger. So once you're grounded, then you can move forward. Thought number two is thought stopping. Okay, so now we're going to go cognitive. Most people don't pivot because they're locked in distorted thinking. So if you're saying things like, this is all my fault, that's personalization, unless maybe it is. Number 2 could be something like, nothing ever works out. That's overgeneralization. Or I will never, ever, ever recover from this. That's catastrophizing. You need to understand what thought distortion that you're in. So there's a lot of different tools you can find on a quick Google search. You can find some on my website, but I absolutely work with my coaching and counseling clients on thought distortions. We have to recognize the ones you fall into. Me, I'm a should girl. I should have done this. I shouldn't have done this. What happens is I get stuck in this should cycle, and I'm just stuck on that hamster wheel. You don't need to argue with this thought right away. I'm not asking you to do that. What I'm asking you to do is basically label what's this thought. Is it catastrophizing? Is it overgeneralization? What is it? So say to yourself, I'm having a catastrophizing thought right now. That single moment of identification creates distance between you and the thought. That's where the shift really begins. So tool number 3, reframe anchors. So for example, what does this make possible? Once you've labeled your distortion, use this question as an anchor. What does this make possible? Let me say this very clearly. This is not toxic positivity. I hate affirmations. If you know me, you know I can't stand it. This is called flexible thinking, or sometimes we hear this as the growth mindset, which was pioneered by Carol Dweck. She actually used to say, yet. So I just lost my job. I'll never get there. Yet. We always have a yet, but we have to shift our thinking to growth mindset rather than being stuck. Again, this is not toxic positivity. So ask yourself in this time of having to pivot, what does this make possible? What does this make possible? Number 4 tool is behavior activation. This is like a 15-minute momentum rule. Action is where we reclaim agency. Pick one small, clear, doable task and set a timer for 15 minutes. It could be as easy as going for a walk. It could be organizing your filing cabinet. It could be sending an uncomfortable email. We are not waiting to feel better. We have to move while we feel messy. That's what behavioral activation is, and it works. The more we activate into behavior, the more the brain says, okay, we're not in danger. I can pivot. Number 5, there is value-based, pivoting. So name your anchors. Not all pivots are about big life changes. They're not. Some are micro adjustments that come back to your core values. So ask yourself, what actually matters to me here? Am I reacting out of fear, or am I responding to my values? Pivoting becomes so much easier when we're clear about what we're not moving toward and what we are moving toward, and how our values feed into that. There's some great value sorts out there, and I have some on my website as well for you that really helps you to identify what are those value-based anchors. Very important for you to have. Number 6, this is somatic awareness. So train spotting. Now listen, you're working on all these pivots and all of a sudden you feel dysregulated again. This is a really great awareness tool to help you step out of dysregulation again. And this is totally normal for everyone. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It is absolutely normal. So what you think about when it comes to train spotting is that's called train spotting, is you imagine your body, your emotions, and your thoughts are separate train cars. And instead of you riding the train of being dysregulated, you're viewing the train. Somatic awareness, what it does is it helps our bottom brain calm down and our top brain talk us through it. So imagine the first train car coming through. What's happening in my body? Where do I notice it? Okay, I have a tight chest. Okay, you're just noticing it go by. Next train car that comes by, what emotion is showing up? Is it grief? Is it pain of loss? Is it unknowing? Great. Watch it go by. You're not riding the train. We're watching these emotions and thoughts and feelings go by. Then what is the thought that's coming up as I watch this train go by? I don't want to ride the train. The second you notice you're riding the train, get off the train and observe the train going by. Labeling, observing, and letting it pass is the way for you to, again, shift yourself out of dysregulation and shift yourself into a state of being able to pivot. Number 7 is decision clarity, and this is the SIFT framework. When you're stuck between 2 or more options, use this. What are the symptoms? What does each option trigger in my body? What's the impact? What will each choice impact me? How will they impact me long term? What are the facts? Strip it down. What's actually true? Feelings aren't facts, people. They're just not. And timing. Is this the right season for this move? The SIFT framework really is a tool that helps you from impulsively pivoting out of panic or staying frozen because you've lost clarity. So the Pivot Toolbox isn't about bouncing back fast. It really is not. It's about moving forward with attention, because strength doesn't always look like grit. It often looks like adjustment. I know what it's like to want to push through, to stay on course out of fear or pride or whatever it may be. But if your shifting course wasn't a failure, if you realize that maybe it wasn't a failure, what if it was the beginning of freedom? That's what pivoting is. If this resonates with you and you're looking for a structured way to build these strengths into your life, keep on listening and join me for more podcasts on CBT for counseling and CBT for coaching.